Mr. Chairman, I want us to ask ourselves questions. The minister raises pertinent concerns, for sure. But how did we come to this situation? Endless creation of administrative units has brought us to this situation. You have 100 and something sub-counties which want to relocate. Where are they relocating from? They have sub-counties where they are coming from. So, colleagues, I think we needed to, you have heard the minister saying he needs money for cities, which he started, and at the same time he wants money for new cities. Should we really operate like this? We put this matter before the President, Mr. Chair, and in principle we agreed that no new creation of
Order.
cities.
Honorable Susan.
Thank you. Chair, the colleague is saying the minister wants money for the cities which he created, and now he wants to create new ones. Mr. Chairman, we must correct this. I don't create local governments. These cities were created by Parliament on a motion approved by Cabinet. And by the way, one of the new administrative units is Rwanda district, of which is a beneficiary. So let's be realistic. In the last 2-3 years, we have not created.
You are protected. Please proceed.
Chair, in the last 2-3 years, Cabinet has taken a decision.
Colleagues, let's have order. Let's have order. We invited our guests. We need to give them the respect they deserve. When someone is talking, please let's not interrupt. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I want to be on record. We have not created a new sub-county, not even a new parish, because there is a cabinet ban on creation of new administrative units. But I thought I was clear in my presentation. Kabale, Moroto, Nakasongola, Entebbe, Wakiso. We are not talking of creation. They were already created. If you want them not to be there, then we must go back to Parliament with another motion to withdraw the other one. So now we are talking of operationalization. Operationalization is different from creation. Now, if it is true that we don't have money, then we must be sincere to our people and tell the people in those areas that, you know, the city of Kabale was created, but we don't have money for its operationalization. Please hold. And that's different from saying, Magyezi is now creating another city in Kabale. I'm not. There is a cabinet resolution and a parliament resolution.
Thank you.
I thought we would create.
Thank you very much.
Chair, a quick one.
Colleagues, this has been clarified.
Colleague, Honorable Minister of Finance, thanks for finding time. We know how busy you are. Mr. Chairman, thanks for organizing this meeting. And I want to thank the committee and welcome them back from the field. Thanks for taking time to go and see what is actually out there. Mr. Chairman, I like your approach. And no doubt, of course, you are one of us. You're a former chairperson of local government. You understand this sector very well. Mr. Chairman, these local government leaders, some of them are here for the annual budget negotiations with the various ministries. But some traveled specifically for this meeting because of the importance of the meeting. And I want to welcome them. Friends, let's keep talking. Dialogue has no end. And that is our belief, that dialogue with Minister of Finance especially will help us to reach the desired goal, mediated by you, our chairperson and committee. I want to put on record the key issues, which we have, some of them are in the paper. But let me just mention them, issue by issue. Things that we have put before you, they have come to cabinet, they have been in parliament, They are seen as unfunded, they are not a priority, but to us, they are a priority. Issue number one, the vehicles for the LOC5 chairpersons and mayors. Mr. Chairman and honorable members, is this important? Is it a priority? I'm actually putting it as number one because it is a priority number one. Why do we need these vehicles? Mr. Chairman, the following are the arguments. Number one, the district chairpersons, mayors of cities and municipalities are the political heads of the local governments and the face of government in their respective areas. They are serving a public duty, just like all of us. I'm a minister, Honorable Musasizi, you're a minister, we are using public vehicle. The colleagues, honorable members of parliament, we're giving a facility. Every Kisanje, these are the people in charge of supervision and monitoring of government services and programs. In the sector, we are in charge of PDM. We are here in Kampala, I'm here. Honorable Musasizi in Kampala, who is monitoring parish development model in Jinja, in Mbale, in Gulu. It must be these local government leaders. Without them going out to reach out to know what is going on roads, on health, on education, on agriculture, on environment, anything. I think as government we are not going to hit the target because we are not facilitating the key official, the top official, who is in charge of supervision and monitoring of government programs and services. Number three, as said by you, Honorable Chair, it is true that a number of our local government leaders have actually now taken to use the departmental vehicles. A vehicle for water, a vehicle for COVID, a vehicle for education. What does that mean? It means that service is constrained by the removal of that facility from the head of department. So the only way to solve it is to make sure that the political leader gets his own or her own vehicle. And number four, they are here. And many of them attend meetings like this. Every other day, every week. As we speak today, Mr. Chairman, we have a regional meeting of all the district and municipal mayors of Northern Region. They are all gathered in Gulu. How do they travel? Last year, we lost the chairperson of Hoima, I think, Hoima district. The one of Mubende got an accident. We cannot continue to lose officials at this level simply because they are using old ramshackle vehicles. The chairperson, when you look at the terms of reference of a job, you know, the job of a chairperson of a district, which you know very well better than any of us, this is not an office job. They don't sit in the office. They are on a daily basis on the move for a burial, for a wedding, for mobilization, for a meeting, for meeting officials of government who have come in their district. They need a vehicle. That one is a necessary tool of job. So I'm simply saying 200 million for each district chairperson, city mayor, and municipal mayor. These are 176 units. The total is 35.2 billion. We need that money. We should have had it in 2021. It is a priority. Without it, as we head towards the next elections, we shall get a problem with the NRM because our front runners, our top officials are not facilitated properly. Issue number two, you've mentioned the honorarium and ex gratia of our councillors. I'm looking at the areas, and honorable members, we gave you the breakdown per district, how much we as government owe them. It is 9.9 billion. Now, friends, there are things you can argue about, but this one is a statutory obligation. If you give a job to an officer, you must pay. For me, this one is simply saying we are denying our colleagues at LOC1, LOC2, 3 levels their entitlement. It is an entitlement. We should pay it. In addition to that, I've looked at the budget of this financial year. And you know, sometimes when we present this, Some people think these are, these are workshops, these are, allowances. We have not catered in the budget of this financial year payment for LOC 1, 2, 3 in terms of their honoraria and ex gratia. Chairperson LOC 1 gets 10,000 per month. That is not in the budget 2023-24. The total is what you've talked about 48 billion. We need that money. And they're already calling, say, we are in the second, third month, we don't see our payment. Now, it is so small that we pay it annually as 120,000. How do you pay 10,000 per month? It becomes difficult. Now, imagine even the 10,000 is becoming a problem. This one you cannot explain, Honorable Chair. So we need that payment. We need it to appear in the supplementary budget. I need to see it in the supplementary budget. And I'm calling on the honorable members of parliament. If there is a supplementary budget without honoraria and ex gratia of our councillors, put a question to the minister in charge. Honorable Chair, the next issue is induction of councillors.
Let's have order, colleagues. Let's give time to the minister.
Chairperson, it is straightforward. Members of parliament, when we came, were inducted in the conference hall. Even us as ministers were inducted for about a week. Councillors do not come from a school of councillors. They come from different lifestyles. And somebody may be elected because he bears a lot. But bearing and passing a budget in council is totally different. So that's why I told the committee, the current conflicts we are having in councils, you've seen chairs flying in the air. You've seen people being boxed in council. I've seen, somebody who is not a speaker chairing a council. These things have happened and they are very costly. As we speak today, a number of our councils are gaining in terms of, they are not gaining, they are actually amassing costs in terms of legal costs because of actions taken illegally. It's not their fault, we have not inducted them. We are appealing to donors, we are getting some little money here and there, but it's an obligation of government. We need 16.3 billion for that item. Next, Chair also mentioned decentralization policy review. Friends, 30 years of policy implementation. We started this policy in October 1992. And some of us, Honorable Isaac Mudo, we have been in this the whole time. Surely we started as a devolution. And as I see it over time, we are going into weaker aspects of decentralization. Time has come to take a stock. Are we still on course? We need to advise government on a few changes we need to make here and there. We need 2 billion for this policy review, and it should be done now. Mr. Chairman, let me add some things which you may not have mentioned. Local revenue remittance. Mr. Chairman, we have issues with the Public Finance Management Act, but that's a story for another day. I will invite the committee to call the two ministries. We come and we table the issues. In 2015, we passed a law which has actually reversed the powers of councils on their budgets. That even if you collect 100 million, if you had budgeted for 1 billion and you collect 101.1 billion, for you to spend that 100 million, you need to come back to Parliament for a supplementary budget. And you know the supplementary budget in Parliament is not so easy. But councils in the law under the Local Government Act have powers to pass their own supplementary budget. But right now, the issue I'm putting to you, Chairperson, is the money which has been collected from the various districts and remitted in Treasury, 7 billion shillings, is sitting here. We need this money tomorrow. I need to see a release of this money. It is money for local governments. They collected it from market dues, trade license, fees here and there, potatoes and so on.
Is that money for last financial year?
It's for the last 3 years.
Okay.
It has been accumulating. We started on a low pace, about 80 million. It increased to about 1 billion. Last year, I think it was about 4 point something billion. In total, it is close to 7 billion. Now, when you deny a city, the money they have collected, and I know that I've seen the pictures on the videos, is it Fort Portal or Masaka, people are quarreling over garbage. But the money is here in Treasury. And people paid their money. So how do you explain that you have failed to collect garbage? Now, the question I've been asking, if I collect money from Gulu City, it comes here, you look at it and you return it without even any interest. What are you doing with this money? What do we need with this money? Why did we make this policy reversal? So I think I need the committee to help us. This matter was tabled by my colleague, the Shadow Minister of Local Government. It was passed by Parliament. As a sector of local government, we stand with Parliament on that matter. Leave the local governments with their revenue. Then for us as government, we go to monitor. We go to supervise. We demand accountability. And now you are demanding accountability, and I know that even this afternoon, we have a report from the PAC, Report to Local Government, an accountability of money which is hid in here in Treasury. It does not make rational sense. The person, which is equally important, PDM Monitoring Fund. PDM monitoring, we know that we have, as government, committed more than $1 trillion, and last financial year it was paid, Honorable Chair. Each parish received their 100 million. Now, I want to be asked as a minister in charge, why is the money not reaching beneficiaries? That one I want to answer. But we have a team which is supposed to help us to implement that. You cannot fail to release, just 10 billion to monitor 1 trillion. Colleagues, you have released 1 trillion to the public, to the local governments. And we are saying facilitate us to monitor implementation of the program. And you look at 10 billion now as big money. How about the 1 trillion? So we need 10 billion to facilitate the PDM Secretariat to monitor effectively PDM. Mr. Chairman, we have other agriculture extension grant in this financial year was struck out. I want a commitment from finance that it is going to appear in the supplementary budget, because the extension officers are the ones to provide assistance to the farmers. You have given people money under PDM to do poultry, to do piggery, to do whatever, and the extension service is not catered for. So who is going to provide the services there? The money required is 49 billion shillings. We need that money, and I hope it will appear in the supplementary budget. The other money which we are asking for is money for YouGift, money for health and education projects, already committed by the local governments, about 164 billion. I want to hear my colleague saying that this money will also be catered for in the supplementary budget. Similarly, 33 billion for USMID, money for USMID for our towns. This financial year, 33 billion is not there. Now, anybody who goes to Gulu City, and you see the beauty of the city in terms of lighting and streets and so on, you cannot underrate this project. It has done a lot in our towns. Of course, in addition to that, funds permitting, Honorable Minister of Finance, time has come for us to provide a physical planning grant to our cities and municipalities. Otherwise, we shall come up with shanty areas and slums and difficult things too. But we need to focus on urbanization as a key challenge which we have to grapple with. Micro-irrigation is a commitment of His Excellency the President this financial year. I don't know how it skipped our attention in terms of budgeting. I want again to hear from my colleague Finance whether the 79.4 billion required for micro-irrigation as committed by His Excellency the President in the State of Nation address is actually being catered for. Mr. Chairman, we talked of relocation of the districts. Let me make that one the last one. Let me first mention this one. Counties and town councils. Whenever we create a new town council, the sub-county is displaced. They leave. They leave the land, they leave the buildings, they leave everything they have, and they have to go in one of the parishes to find a way of getting another home. I'm talking of 312 sub-counties today, which do not have a home. Some of them are operating in the Chairperson LOC3's home. Some of them are also displacing a parish. We need 15.6 billion for that one. It's as important as the last issue I mentioned. They need to relocate the districts from the cities. Mr. Chairman, we are here. As Parliament, we passed these cities. They have taken effect. It's not been an easy journey, but they are there. Cities which were approved. And friends, we are not, for now, creating new administrative units, but the 5 cities were approved. I'm looking for money now for their operationalization. I'm talking of Moroto, Nakasongola, Entebbe, Wakiso, and Kabale. But as we wait for those 5, the 10 have given us an experience. How to start a city service commission. How to protect land in the city from being sold by the district officials as they live. How to ensure that we have a public accounts committee in the city. How to ensure that the budget of the city now caters for an expanded space. Now, I've always been asked, why aren't you guiding the cities on how to share their assets with the districts? And Chairperson, you moved out. The reality is the land is there. Let nobody tell you that the districts have no land anywhere to go. But we have, as a ministry, insisted the most significant asset in these cities is the district headquarters. If you don't solve that challenge, the rest does not tie in. To go and talk about a school, of course, of necessity, the school will remain with the city. To go and negotiate about a landing site, that's not significant. You're talking about the city of Umbarara. How do you sort out relocation of the district of Umbarara from Kamukuzi to Bwizwe? Now, I've heard of the city of Soroti, where the district already have the money. There are 2-3 challenges we need to agree on. Number one, you heard recently of a ghost district somewhere in Kwen. Some wonderful Ugandans went and started their district. They even had a district chairman, another DC, a cow, and they collected 80 million shillings from the public. So we've insisted, don't relocate the district headquarters without approval of the ministry. Because a district headquarters is not a small thing. It's a very significant matter. It goes with the police, it goes with the electoral commission, it goes with the DSOs and so on. So we need to gazette these district headquarters. So for me, I'm saying, please, I've had the challenge between Katine and Arapai and so on. We need to move systematically. Don't sit on your own and say, today, Masaka City, we are going to, Masaka District, we are going to Chanamkaka. Who tells you? There is another area in Buunga, and there is that matter which has to be sorted out. But before we talk about sharing assets, relocating districts, I have requested for 1 million shillings, 1 billion per district, at least to know, to see how to start transferring. Just like, you know, if you give some land to your son, at least there must be some kickstart, some capital to say, please, go and start with a latrine, put a kitchen, move. Mr. Chairman, it will not be the end, because I now have a good example, Soroti District. The chairman is here. I've seen their budget for construction of a new district headquarters. They require 10 billion. The chairman of Kabarole is here. I've visited their proposed site. They are talking of about 3-4 billion. 5, he's here, they'll tell you. But for me, what I need is we as government showing a commitment to the districts that we are ready to facilitate your transfer, your relocation. But you cannot say, Mbale district, now leave, go. Go where? The Katine challenge, now the district is relocating a sub-county. The Guru chairman is here, he will tell you his example, his experience. He had gone to, is it Awach or something? And in Awach, he was relocating a sub-county. And the sub-county said, Mister, where are you going? This is my place. And he ended up with a censure motion in the council. Yes. We had to go in to see, and so we need to do this in an organized manner. I'm proposing through you, Chairman. Number one, I need commitment of the Minister of Finance to release 10 billion shillings for these districts to relocate from the cities. Number two, once this is agreed, then we shall send a technical team to each city for a one-on-one discussion between the district and the city on their assets. And we shall submit a report to the committee. And we shall do that because that is my responsibility under the Local Government Act. But number three, we need for now to make sure that there is harmony. In Soroti, I think somebody came and broke the signpost of the district. Please go away from here. That is not fair. That is not healthy. We've tried as a ministry to say, friends, there is no city which was created without a resolution of the district. If the district sat and said, let us create a city called Arua, why are you chasing them away as if they are not brothers and sisters? So that's why we are here, Chairman, and I want to thank you. I really want to hear if we are getting that indicator, and then in the next year's budget, we shall put another commitment so that at least this year, I'm sure that they have a foundation, they start construction, and the cities get relief. I like my mayor of Masaka. She has some money. She has some little money to start construction, but she needs to do the work. And I've had to prevail over her, please wait a bit. So the cities have been hospitable, they are good, there is no problem. But I think we need to make sure that we solve this challenge, and it is between us as a ministry and you as a committee. It is sensitive. Some people think we are refusing to guide them, but for me, the most sensitive asset of the district in the city is the district headquarters. For some of them, these district headquarters are already registered in their names. They have land titles. So you don't just throw him out without compensation. So I need this money, Honorable Chair. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you
so much.
Procedure.
Nancy is a senior member of this house. We came in together. I'm surprised today he's bringing a love letter for us to read, and he calls it a document. It is not authentic, so I don't know to who it belongs. Wouldn't it be procedure right that the minister first signs on his document, because he has even an opportunity to deny us?
In the interest of time, I will ask him to sign my copy, and the rest of your copies will be signed later.
We've been together for...
Honorable Minister, you are protected. You are protected.
Mr. Chair, I beg your indulgence that I present as I prepared.
Let's proceed.
Mr. Chair, I will first present my written statement, then I will come to the issues which I have picked from my colleague and also from your communication. Chair and colleagues, I want to refer to the letter dated 8th August, where you invited me to this meeting to discuss the following issues: the level of preparedness of the mother districts to relocate following the creation of new cities, and 2, status of payment of ex gratia for local councillors for both cities and mother districts. Mr. Chairman, I had appeared before earlier, and this being a follow-up meeting, I am looking forward to the results of the committee's field visit on the level of preparedness for the mother districts to relocate if and when funds are provided. Chair and colleagues, regarding the issue on the status of payment of ex gratia for local councillors, I informed the committee that my ministry was preparing a supplementary budget at the last meeting to reinstate the funds for ex gratia that are not in the current financial year's budget, and this process is in its final stages. We are only left with the revenue side, because now Parliament requires us to present the expenditure and the source of funds. So we are looking for the funding sources, then we go to Cabinet and subsequently the Parliament. In addition, regarding the arrears for councillors, the Line Ministry of Local Government officially submitted to us a list of arrears on 18th August 2023, and currently the officers are analyzing the schedule submitted for inclusion in the supplementary provision of 3%. I want to assure you that once finalized, a supplementary will be issued and communicated to the affected local governments accordingly. Mr. Chairman, there are other which have been raised, and I'm glad today's meeting is the first of its kind. I have not appeared before a committee with these kind of numbers, but Mr. Chairman, I wish to inform you and the committee that we work with these stakeholders on a regular basis as Ministry of Finance. Even now, we are planning in September to go and conduct consultative meetings on budget with them in their respective regions. I'm therefore happy to interact with them again here. Mr. Chairman, I want to appreciate my colleague, Honorable Magyezi, for passionately speaking for local governments. Indeed, he's an OB. He has risen through the ranks with Isaac Mudoy, and you can see he has not changed.
Very true.
Yes. And I want to really appreciate him for that. However, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Magyezi is a member of Cabinet where we sit together, and some of these matters have been discussed at that level. For instance, the issue of vehicles for LC5 chairpersons and mayors. The issue here is funding mechanism, and we have agreed in the Cabinet that a small committee chaired by him, led by him, and us, we meet the President, discuss this matter, and he guides on how best we can handle it. I want to beg for your indulgence that you allow us time to do this meeting, and then the outcome will be communicated to the respective local governments. On rate releases, Mr. Chairman, our rules require that by 10th of the first month of the beginning of the quarter, funds are released to all spending votes, which we have always done, except for the last quarter of the previous financial year. Once this happens, we expect the spending agencies to warrant, and that is where we have a problem in some of the local governments. Because of the weaknesses peculiar to them, some of them are yet to familiarize with our IFMIS system. I don't know whether deliberately or what, but some accounting officers find the struggle to warrant in order for us to allow the system to continue. And also, there is another challenge of misallocation, which is also common with local governments. They allocate they misallocate to other budget lines. And all these, to clear them sometimes takes time. And this has caused the delays which they are talking about. However, Mr. Chairman, in the close of last financial year, we had a cash flow problem. Yes, we issued releases on before 10th of April, but realizing the cash became a problem, and the cash was realized about 12th of June or so. So what we did, we kept the financial year open. We kept the system open. Under normal circumstances, we are supposed to close this system by 20th. But the last financial year, the system was kept open up to 30th of June. So the town clerk of Arua and someone else whom I had, I would wish that he sits with me and the team so that I ask him some questions. Yes, I want to know whether the problem was from my side or it was from their side. Because as far as my technical people told me, is that our system kept open up to 30th of June because we realized the cash late. And all that was done in order to allow for entities to be able to process payments through. So, Mr. Chairman, we will invite, in our own way, we will invite the cow, so that the town clerk, because he's an accounting officer, is responsible to us for payments, and we shall have to ask him some questions. Whether he made an allegation or what, because our goodwill is equally important.
Actually,
all of you. Okay. So I need to...
Honorable Minister, I only gave the example of Arua and Gulu, but all...
So I want to know whether my team at the ministry lied to me or...
let's first allow the minister finish. You'll respond.
Mr. Chairman, another issue I have answered. Mr. Chairman, I want us to ask ourselves questions. The minister raises pertinent concerns, for sure. But how did we come to this situation? Endless creation of administrative units has brought us to this situation. You have 100 and something sub-counties which want to relocate. Where are they relocating from? They have sub-counties where they are coming from. So, colleagues, I think we needed to, you have heard the minister saying he needs money for cities, which he started, and at the same time he wants money for new cities. Should we really operate like this? We put this matter before the President, Mr. Chair, and in principle we agreed that no new creation of
Order.
cities.
Honorable Susan.
Thank you very much. I'm putting the Minister of Finance on a point of order in regard to the issue of the new administrative units that he's referring to. We were together in Parliament when these cities were being passed. And we all agreed that these cities all be passed at once, but implementation will take shape in intervals, in a phased manner. Is it therefore in order to say that the minister is asking for money to operationalize the cities, and whereas he's creating new ones? Is it in order?
The minister is not in order to say local government minister is creating new cities. These cities have been created already. I think what he's trying to emphasize is the challenges in financing the functionality of the cities. So the minister is not creating new cities. They have been created. They were created by Parliament. They are only not yet functional. Those 5.
So,
please.
Chair, the colleague is saying the minister wants money for the cities which he created, and now he wants to create new ones. Mr. Chairman, we must correct this. I don't create local governments. These cities were created by Parliament on a motion approved by Cabinet. And by the way, One of the new administrative units is Rwanda district, of which is a beneficiary. So let's be realistic. In the last 2-3 years, we have not created...
You are protected. Please proceed.
Chair, in the last 2-3 years, Cabinet has taken a decision...
Colleagues, let's have order. Let's have order. We invited our guests. We need to give them the respect they deserve. When someone is talking, please let's not interrupt. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I want to be on record. We have not created a new sub-county, not even a new parish, because there is a cabinet ban on creation of new administrative units. But I thought I was clear in my presentation. Kabale, Moroto, Nakasongola, Entebbe, Wakiso, we are not talking of creation. They were already created. If you want them not to be there, then we must go back to Parliament with another motion to withdraw the other one. So now we are talking of operationalization. Operationalization is different from creation. Now, if it is true that we don't have money, then we must be sincere to our people and tell the people in those areas that, you know, the city of Kabale was created, but we don't have money for its operationalization. Please hold. But that's different from saying, Magyezi is now creating another city in Kabale. I'm not. There is a cabinet resolution and a parliament resolution.
Thank you.
I thought we would create.
Thank you very much.
Chair, a quick one.
Colleagues, this has been clarified.
Just I find out whether certificate of financial implication was presented at the time of...
Yes, and it was issued by finance.
No, I'm finding out.
Colleagues, can maybe Honorable Minister, colleagues, we are not going to go back into discussing how the cities were created. That question is taking us back because the cities have been created, they were passed by Parliament. What we are talking about is operationalization. If the money is not yet there, it is understandable, but there must be a clear message and a clear time frame. That is what the minister is talking about. So please, let's proceed in that way.
Thanks so much. Friends,
colleagues, let's listen.
I want to believe that the committee visited Katine in Soroti. The chairman of the district has a letter from me stopping creation of that district headquarters there. Because I was mindful of that. That's in the law. It's not just about me or you. A district headquarters automatically becomes a town council. And it's the minister must gazette the town. Now, how do you proceed if I've not gazetted that headquarters as a town council? Because you can be challenged. So that's why I'm insisting we must move systematically. And I've described the process. The council will pass a resolution on the new headquarters. In case in council they do not agree, then the minister comes in. We send a technical team to look at the 2-3 sites, look at accessibility, look at land ownership, look at infrastructure, look at the town itself. You cannot put a town in a forest, and other issues. We have them. And then we take a decision. And then we gazette that headquarters. And then we provide the funds which we are looking for. And the district moves to construct. And once they have a headquarters, then they relocate. So thanks for asking that. And I hope this is captured. This is a procedure. If we bend it, then you get into that legal complication. You have relocated to a new headquarters called Awach. But it's not a town council. So now how do we proceed? And secondly, to relocate there, you are displacing another sub-county there. So I totally agree with you, Chairperson. We have put a stop to creation of these administrative units. Where we are going to relocate the new districts, we shall come to Parliament and get the instrument to create the town councils.
Mr. Chairman,